All right, so as promised, here is a recap of what students will have to do so that they can be part of our work-based learning program here at Locust Trace. First, I do want to reiterate the fact that just because a student applies for a job does not guarantee that they will be hired. So students, I would recommend you apply to several different places. Even though an employer may be looking for someone to fill a position now, doesn't mean that that position could be available in the fall when we need it to be. So just remember, we're looking for a business that can employ you from August through May based on your schedule. So that's either going to be the gold schedule on Tuesday, Thursday, every other Friday, or a blue schedule Monday, Wednesday, every other Friday. Or some of you will have room in your schedule to be a blue and gold intern, meaning that you'll be at work 5 days a week and not report to campus for any classes. All right, so the website is going live today. To get there, and we're just going to kind of recap everything that we went over in the meeting. So if you have any questions, I would ask that you email me, and I'll show you where to find my email contact here in a minute. But the first thing you're going to do is go to our Locust Trace homepage, which is right here. Go to Students. Once you go to Students, you can go to Work-Based Learning. Okay, now I do want to point out this black thumbnail. This video will be where this is at. So if you need to rewatch it, you can, but this new link will be updated and that'll be available there. So as we go through here, just a reminder that we are in kind of phase 1, 2, and 3 right now. We're getting ready to open our application form here very shortly. So students will fill that out. And then for the remainder of the school year, we'll kind of be in step 4. The employers should be reaching out to students. And then we need the decisions to be made as to where each student is going to be placed or employed by July 15th. And the reason for that is between July 15th and the start of school, we'll have employer and student and parent onboard meetings. So we'll get all of our paperwork filled out that I have to keep on file for each work-based learning student. We'll have everybody in the same room so that we can talk about things such as what happens on a snow day, what happens on an NTI day, what happens when a student wakes up sick. So we'll answer all of those questions at these onboard meetings, and so that we can have everybody in the same room, and it gives a chance for the parents and the employer to meet if they haven't done so already. So down here is the guidelines and timelines. If you click on that, it will force you to make a copy. You will have to be logged into your student Google account or a Google account if it's a parent that's logging in, but the students should all do this from their own Google account because it'll save copies for them in their drive that they'll need to access later. So I would encourage you to take a look at the guidelines and timelines. I'm not going to read through that right now, but it does have the responsibilities laid out for the employer, for the parents, for myself as the work-based learning coordinator, and then for the students. There is a back signature page that will have to be uploaded to the student application with a parent and student signature. So just take a minute to look over those when you have a chance. But the big thing the students need to know is here is the student application, and it is now live. So they'll click on that. Again, they're going to have to be logged into their own school Google account. Okay. But as you go down through here, everything is pretty straightforward for an application. We're looking for your school email, your demographic information. Also, I need parent information in case I can't get a hold of a student in the summer and need to. So make sure that I have parent or guardian name, email, and phone numbers. As we go down through here, everything's pretty self-explanatory. I do want to talk about this question right here. If you know what you want your work-based learning experience to be like, if you know that you want to be able to see, specific things within the industry, I need you to put that there. That way, if an employer knows that they can't meet your expectations for that, then they won't waste your time or their time by interviewing you. However, if the more open you are to experiences, and being honest, saying, you really don't know what you don't know, you don't know what's out there, that kind of leaves it open, and the employer may be able, you may have a better shot of being interviewed just because the employer doesn't feel like they're pigeonholed into providing certain things that they may not be able to. And again, you don't know what you don't know. So, if you say you want to be on a horse farm, and you're open to whatever they can show you, I would put that. So that kind of shows your open-mindedness, and that's a good thing for an employer. So as we go down through there, you will be asked to list your weighted and unweighted GPAs. You don't have to, but we do encourage you. If you've had issues with attendance in the past, and maybe you've had, for whatever reason, maybe you had to have surgery, or high school was a little rough when you first started, this is a time for you to kind of address any of those excessive absences. And I'll tell you why this is on here, and it's because employers really want just some basic things. They want someone who's going to show up every day to work on time, willing to work, and drug-free. That's what they want. If if you're a little worried about the certain technical skills that you possess, don't, because they're going to teach you the way that they want you to do it anyway. If you've got a good foundation and good work ethic, that's 90% of the battle. Okay. Also, and this question really, I do need to take this off here. We simply don't have a lot of students with disciplinary issues, but if you have had one, there's a good time to explain that. If you are a student of Miss Jackson's and you've done your digital portfolio, here's a place for you to share that link if you would like to do that to an employer. This is where you need to upload your resume and cover letter, and everyone will need a resume. You may or may not have a cover letter. I'm going to leave that up to you. So if you need help on your resume, side note, please email that to me. I'll go over it and give it back to you for revisions. I've been doing this with students. We usually go back and forth 3, maybe 4 times, and then it's to the level that we're comfortable putting it on there for an employer to look at. Now, I will say, being a rising senior, you're not going to have a super strong resume, and that's okay. We don't expect you to, but you can hand in a resume that is impeccable in terms of the grammar, the spelling, the layout, the formatting, and so on and so forth. So take some time. Don't just slap something on a piece of paper and call it good. This is the first chance that you have to make that first impression. And I think the research says that the average person looking at a resume will spend about 13 seconds glancing at it. And that's the time that it takes them to decide if they want to trash it or look at it further. So keep that in mind when you're putting these resumes together. Put some time into it. The next thing is for you to go back and read through that project guidelines and timelines that I pointed out on the homepage of this site. There again, let me back up. This is just a link back to that document. Down here is where I need you to sign the last page of that document. And kiddos, I don't mean type in your parent's name. I need their signature. You can take a picture and just upload it to that. And the reason I do this is I have had interns in the past that have wanted to do work-based learning, but the parents didn't know anything about it. So this is the way that we know that we've got everybody on the same page as to what your senior schedule may look like. Okay. Next, you have to have reliable and consistent transportation. There's only so many times that an employer can hear, well, I didn't have a way to work. That's not acceptable. So we do understand that transportation is a huge barrier to off-campus internships. However, we do reserve our on-campus internships for students who do have an issue with transportation or may not have that reliable and consistent transportation. So this is just, again, you taking some time to consider, do you truly have reliable and consistent transportation? Okay. All right, and then at the bottom, I'm going to show you where you can find out more about these. These are the places that we already have communicated with, and this will be constantly updated as I get more partners on board. We have had some that have pulled out simply because they don't need the employees right now. We've lost a bunch of horse farms because they're fully staffed, which is wonderful for them, not so good for us. So if you have your own contact that you would like to make, I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to be making those contacts. And then instead of checking these, you would be checking this one at the bottom saying that you're making your own contact who's not already on the list. Okay. I'm going to show you how to find out more about these guys here in a second. Okay. Finally, down below, this is just some final bullet points that I need you to make sure that everyone's good with. That you must provide your own transportation for off-campus assignments. You must have your placement secured by the start of school, July 15th specifically, that you have to attend one of the onboard meetings when they're scheduled, and I'll get that to you later in July this year. I'm expected to report to my work site when I'm scheduled. That means if you're a gold student on a gold day, you're expected to be there. If you're not, you can be removed from the work-based learning program. The reason for that is during your time as an intern, when you would be here on campus, so between 9 and 11 a.m. and then again from 12:40 to 2:45 p.m. at those hours at the minimum, I am legally responsible for you and your attendance. So if you are not where you're supposed to be, we need to know, okay? And it's not a big deal. If you're sick, that's fine. You just have to let us know so that we can enter attendance correctly that morning. You also need to know you are responsible for submitting your timesheet on a weekly basis. That is how your grades are determined, and we'll go over more about this in those onboard meetings. But just know that your failure to do your timesheet for me will result in a failing grade in the class, okay, and possible removal. Again, if I don't know where you are, then I can't I can't take the legal risk of you. It would just be like we not knowing where you were on campus. It can't be. It's just a no-go. Okay. So when you're finished, you would submit that. Just keep in mind that I will have other, hopefully, partners that I can update, and I'll do that via the website. I'll put it on here on the application so that you can go back and revise, and I will also put it out on the Remind. Okay. All right. So there's your student application. Let's talk about the experiences. Okay. Remember that experiences can be paid or unpaid. Just quickly, I know a lot of us have to take care of business, right? We've got gas to pay for, you got insurance, you got other things. So a paid position is always much appreciated. However, sometimes we get better experiences through our unpaid positions. You know, when you're not there to do a job and help fund that business's bottom line, sometimes you get to do more fun things or more unmundane things, I guess. So if you can consider an unpaid, I would encourage you to do that. All right, so as we go through, I have got these organized by institute. We have our Plant Science Institute. Food Chain is a really good partner of ours. If you don't know what Food Chain is, that's fine. For each business partner we have, I have got their logo. I've got their name with a hyperlink to their website. And if you find one of these that don't work, let me know. But you can read more about Food Chain if you're not familiar so that you can decide if you would like to be considered by them. And then I've got just a short description of what that internship would look like. Okay, so as we go down through the Kentucky Castle, most of you all know Miss Myers is not going to be there, but they have agreed to still be a partner to us. So that is still an option. On campus, we would have an intern if we have somebody who would like to work with Mr. Bussell and help take care of the greenhouse and some of his chores. Next, we've got our Animal Science Institute. Pet Vet 365 has always been a really good partner of ours. The Secretariat Center is coming on board. The Humane Society is a good partner. We've also got our food science intern, as well as going on down our pre-vet and our equine. Off campus, we have got Kentucky Castle again, because they fall under multiple pathways. And then new this year, we have got for our communications students, our Fayette County Public Schools Communications Department has agreed to consider applicants for internship positions. I don't know if those will be paid or unpaid yet. It will probably depend on the budget. But they have said that interns will experience video production, graphic design, photography, marketing, event planning, communications. If you know that you want to just really focus on marketing, then they are happy to do that. Otherwise, they'll do kind of a rotation through all that, which sounds super exciting to me. I wish that was available when I was still in school. When we go down to ES&R, we've got our on-campus again. We've got Kentucky Castle. We've also got food chain that would fall under that. And then finally, our ag engineering. We do have an on-campus internship for that, as well as Central Equipment, which is a heavy equipment dealer in toward downtown Lexington. Okay. And if you are thinking that you want to be a teacher of some sort, we do have 4 of our middle schools who have agreed to take on an intern. Those internships usually kind of look like a mini student teaching opportunity. You start out very kind of as an observation student would do at the beginning of your college, career when you think you want to go into education, and then hopefully by the spring semester you're teaching a little bit. Okay, so those are the opportunities that I have lined up. I again strongly encourage you to find your own, especially for you vet students. If you want to be in a vet clinic, you need to start reaching out right now, and it's not too early to reach out to anybody right now. You just need to make sure that they understand. You need a placement that is preferably for the school year. Can we switch at Christmas? Absolutely. If you want to set up 2 placements, we can absolutely do that. We just need to have it planned out. Okay. If you still have questions or need help, there is my email address. It's at the bottom. There's also my cell phone number there. If you need a quick answer, I can usually text it back to you. I would, again, ask that you respect my personal phone and don't call at all hours of the evenings. Also on this website, you've got some FAQs, frequently asked questions. So read through those. Student resources is your work-based learning agreement. You won't need that until the fall. Now, I do want to bring up this employer supervisor resources. If you are someone who is going to secure your own placement, again, that is awesome. The big thing that I will need from every supervisor, if I have not already made contact with them, is for your person to fill out this volunteer application. I've got the directions. They just need this link. Here's what they're going to do on each page, and it tells them what to do once they've finished and get their results back, which is, I'm sure it'll be that they're, placed on our volunteer list at that point. But I do need them to forward that to me at my email address. And this is by law. I have to have this on everyone that we put a student with. So that, you guys, is pretty much the long and the short of it. Again, call me, email me, text me if you need me. Oh, also, let me tell you, I do need you to sign up for the Remind group that we have. And if you'll give me 1 second, I will pull that up. There's a Remind group for the 25-26 interns. I don't know if you can see this or not, if it's recording. If it is, awesome. If it's not, here's what you need to do. You will need to text the number 81010. So you're going to put 81010. And the message you're going to send is at, the at sign, the number 8, G is in golf, F is in Frank, the number 7, the number 8, and then the number G is in golf. And the letters are all lowercase. So again, you're going to text 81010. And your code you're going to send is @ the @ sign, the number 8, G is in golf, F is in Frank, the number 7, the number 8, and G is in golf. All right, so again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I look forward to receiving your application.